Yo, what's going on, people? Today we are reacting to ABBA with The Day Before You Came. Look, I know, okay? I'm in a football top again, a different one, again. I promise I don't just wear football tops all the time, but listen, man, I'm not coming on you dressing special for a fucking reaction. I'm wearing hoodies and football tops, bro, you know. But anyway, this song was released on October 18th, 1982, 20 years before this man was born, you know, October 18th, 2002, you know. So this song is 20 years older than me. That's crazy. This song's nearly double my age. But without further ado, let's get right into the reaction. ABBA, The Day Before You Came. Hey.
Must have left my house at 8 because I always do. My train, I'm certain, left the station just when it was 2.
That's tough. Yeah.
I must have read the morning paper going into town, and having gotten through the editorial, no doubt I must have frowned. I must have made my desk around 9:15.
It's tough. Hey.
With letters to be read and heaps of papers waiting to be signed. I must have gone to lunch at 12:30 or so, the usual place, the usual bunch. And still on top of this, I'm pretty sure it must have rained the day before you came.
Hey. You know.
I must have lit my 7th cigarette at 2:30. And at the time I never even noticed I was blue. I must have kept on dragging through the business of the day without really knowing anything. I hid a part of me away. At 5 I must have left. There's no exception to the rule. A matter of routine. I've done it ever since I finished school. The train back home again. Undoubtedly I must have read the evening paper then. Oh yes, I'm sure my life was well within its usual frame.
Okay.
The day before you came.
Hey.
Must have opened my front door at 8 o'clock or so, and stopped along the way to buy some Chinese food to go. I'm sure I had my dinner watching something on TV. There's not, I think, a single episode of Dallas that I didn't see. I must have gone to bed around 10:15. I need a lot of sleep, and so I like to be in bed by then. I must have read a while, the latest one by Marilyn Crenshaw, something in that style.
Done.
It's funny, but I had no sense of living without aim. The day before you came.
No. God. you know.
the day before you came.
Hey, hey. You know. Okay, that was Amber with The Day Before You Came. A very interesting little song right there, I must admit, you know. I must have left my house at 8 because I always do, you know. She always leaves at fucking 8, me. I must have read the morning paper going into town. And having gone through the editorial, no doubt I must have frowned. Jesus. And still on top of this, I'm pretty sure it must have rained the day before you came. You know. It's raining right now as we speak heavily. You know, the summer is over. There are positives and negatives. You know, I'm less hot now. But I had to take my jacket off. And I don't like taking my fucking jacket off. You know. I'm supposed to take my jacket off because I'm wet and stuff. You know, I can't wear that now. You know. Anyway, she's talking about her little mundane day at work. You know, it sounds chaotic and annoying, you know, just what work exactly is. And I can, listen, I'm not going to get too emotional, but I've just been stressed the last week, bro. Literally, bro. Literally, bro. Geezer's telling me to do this, that, and the third. Oh, could you get this done? Could you get this done? Mate, I am one man. Leave me alone. You know, I'm trying, listen, I just came down here to record. Just before I came down to record, I had someone ask me to do something. Listen. No. I said no. I've got things to do, bro. Got things to do. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. But so she's describing her mundane life. And she ends the verse by saying the day before you came. And she does this in every verse. At the end of every verse, she says the day before you came. You know, talking about a man coming into her life. And that's it, bro. Your life could be really boring. You could feel stuck, you could feel stagnant, you could feel like everything's just shit. I'll just put it that plain and simple. You could feel like everything is just shit. And you don't want to live this life anymore. You want to change. And then you start thinking, oh, I just got to get used to this now. And then all of a sudden, your knight in shining armors walk through the bloody door, and you know, suit it up. So maybe this is a good song for me to listen to today because, listen, that's how I feel right now, bro. Listen, everything's pissing me off. Everything's annoying. Do you know how fucking happy I'd be if some just supermodel walked through the door right there? Actually, I'd probably be a bit concerned because why did you just come into my house unannounced? That would actually be a bit weird, actually, you know. Let's continue. I must have lit my 7th cigarette at 2:30. And at the time, I never noticed that I was blue. So I must have kept on dragging through the business of the day without really knowing anything I had a part of me away tough. Oh yes, I'm sure my life was well within its usual frame the day before you came. Listen, now she's saying she didn't realize how unhappy she was. She said she never noticed she was blue. She didn't realize that she was hiding a part of her away until this guy came. This guy introduced her to a part of her that she didn't know yet, you know. She's painting how boring it was without this guy, you know. Yeah, man, that was Amber's The Day Before You Came. This is a very good song, you know. The way this is structured is very good. You know, the way that she's made it sound like she's going through her day, how plain it is, how boring it is, how mundane it is. And she ends every verse saying the day before you came, highlighting, listen, my life was shit. you came and you made it, you added something to it. She doesn't really need to even say what he did or how he was. She's just emphasizing how bad her life was, and then by saying the day before you came, she's saying it was like that until you appeared, you know? Like implying that it got better afterwards, after this guy's arrival. So yeah, man, this was a good song, well structured. Amazing instrumental, by the way, as well. You know, a nice little a nice little sound going on. You know, if you enjoyed this reaction, please like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to react to next. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.